Good evening. I'm Melissa. This is Star. She says hi. This is my husband's cat. Well, she loves him more than she loves me, so I rarely get to see her. Today's video is going to be a plant chores video. I have a lot to do this evening. It's mostly going to be watering, but my goal is to also do some other tasks that I've been putting off. I want to extend a couple Thiccly poles if I can. I'm going to be checking some plants for spider mites, and I'll clean them if I do find some. And then I also, it's mostly just going to be watering and just whatever I come across that I feel like tackling. Sometimes I get in random moods where I decide that I want to repot something or do something while I'm doing plant chores. So we will see where the evening brings us. But I hope you enjoy this video. Thank you so much for watching and for being here, and let's get to it. First things first is I always like to start with my poles. I like to top off the watering globes. They're on top of the poles. It's what I use to water them. I don't have enough for every pole. I am going to order more because I'm tired of not having enough for every pole, and then I have to wait for some to be watered before I can water the other ones. I still have to place my Amazon order. I'm going to do that later. I was waiting to read all of your suggestions on fertilizer because I do want to get a liquid feed and test it out. And I have some random odds and ends and stuff to get, so I am gonna get some. And I ordered my mites, my beneficial mites. They will be here either tomorrow or Saturday. I hope they come tomorrow because I do not want the spider mites to go crazy. So we're gonna get started topping off our poles while we do some other watering. This isn't the main water, so I don't have to water or check a lot of my plants, but I have to water and check a lot of them, if you know what I mean. It's been close to 80 degrees in my plant room, and it stays 80 degrees in my cabinet. So roughly those plants tend to dry out really quickly. So a lot of plants do need water twice a week. I have to water all of my pond reservoirs because clearly this one is thirsty. No water in here. This is the bottom half of my fry deck. You guys saw the top half that I upsized recently. She is popping off and growing like crazy. There's a few marks that popped up on this allocation. I think it's just over fertilization. I don't think it's anything fungal. There's a burn mark here. You can see that little dot. And there's also, there's one, if you can see from all the leaves, there's one there. And there's also something on this one. And there's something on this one. So I don't know. I don't know what it is. I'm keeping a close eye on it. I wouldn't think anything fungal would still be remaining, but you never know because it did have a fungal issue and what caused the whole thing to die. So yeah, we're gonna fill up our pond reservoirs, water my cabinet, maybe transfer some more little anthurium seedlings out, water our poles, all of our poles, maybe extend some. And then like I said, we'll see what we get into. I did set up my humidifier last week, and I've had it on auto at 55% humidity, but it looks like it's empty, so it must have used it. So I'm going to refill that with you and show you my humidifier, and yeah, I'll probably run it from this point on. It's starting to get a little less humid in here, especially when things are dry. When my plants are watered, it's a lot more humid in here. I don't know if you can see Marble Queen over here, but she's got another growth point coming out of the top, which is very exciting. The newest leaf got pretty big. I mean, it definitely was smaller since the chop, but she got pretty big. The Marble Queen is one of my thirstiest moss poles. So what I like to do is I kind of just start down the line. Since I don't have enough to go around, I just kind of fill them up. I do these, and then I'll just keep moving down the line. And then the Thiccly poles, I don't use a globe. I just use my watering can. I need to fill up my water. I like to use these OJ jugs. I have 4 of them, but I need to get more. I would like to, because if I do start using liquid, I want to have like some that's like pre-mixed and ready to go with like pH adjusted, fertilizer added, and it just be ready. There was something else that one of you told me to get, and I'm going to order that too for the tap water. So whenever it gets here, I will, I guess, share with you guys because I don't know anything about it. But I can put like the name of it here. You told me it helps remove like chlorine and stuff out of tap. So I am ordering that, and I'm going to start using that because I don't think I want to use my rain barrel anymore. I had my husband move the barrel from the gutter, and then like we reattached the gutter so that it drains like normal. But now it's just a barrel that's sitting there. But I don't think I feel comfortable using it after what happened this summer. I think I would be too scared. Even with filtering it and stuff, I would be worried that I would spread a fungal issue because I definitely don't want that to happen anymore. No more fungal issues. We can't be dealing with that. My varicosum since the chop. Look at those new leaves. She's beautiful. I am very anxious about spider mites now. I just like want to check some plants over that I know are more prone to them, especially philodendron. I can't tell if this is dirt or actual spider mites on here. It's really hard to tell because this is one of the bottom leaves. I might just spray her with Castile soap, the leaves, because until the mites get here, I would feel better at least. Since it's been 2 months, any of the mite packets that are on the plants, I'm just gonna toss. I'm gonna start adding a date on the tab. I'm gonna write a date so that I know which ones are old and which ones are new, because I like to leave them on as long as possible in case any still hatch, but it's been like over 2 months, and some of these were still on from the last round, which was like 3 months ago, so these are definitely no good anymore. I'm gonna put her on this chair here. Yeah, I normally water these guys in their spot, but I need to actually move them and dump their cash pots out after this water, just in case there's any residue. I forgot to do that last time I watered. I meant to come back in and empty the cash pots, and I didn't. I'm trying not to get any of the soil wet, so that's why I like tilting it down like this, so I can kind of get in here, and I just do a little bit. And lately I've kind of been going back to the squeeze bottle for the Thiccly poles because it ensures that I don't like overwater the poles with the soil. And it kind of helps moisten it too. First, because a lot of the times when I go to water my Thiccly poles, they're compacted again. The moss is. I'm mad at myself for not getting more mites sooner. Spider mites have always loved me though. They just love my plants. But I'm amazed at these new leaves since the chop. So the one cutting made it, the one individual cutting, this one here that we added in has made it. And then the one on the bottom, I cut the leaf off, but I left the node. So the node is like right down here, but just not the leaf. So that one may not make it, or it may reroute new growth. But the one that is here is actually pushing a new growth point. It's kind of like in the moss a little bit. Make sure that node can come out. I don't know if you can make it out. It's like right there. Oop, there's like a little growth point kind of coming out. I'm making a mess. So yeah, this one wasn't too compacted. Oh, I don't have the stake secured in here very well. Why did I not do that? I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna get my Castile soap and I'm gonna spray this philodendron. I would just do it over my sink, but I have a bunch of plant pots in there that I had washed out. So I'm basically just like spraying her leaves down really good. Just kind of spraying it on there and just letting it sit. The new ones should be fine. It's mostly the bottom ones that I'm worried about. And then if there's any extra water in their like cash pots, I just dump them out. We'll definitely have to keep an eye. This is my beautiful Sorteroy. Spider mites love my philodendron collection, so I tend to check these ones the most. I think it's just dirt. I do need to extend my Sorteroy. The last node is like right here. It's not as urgent as some of my other ones, so I might wait a little bit. My Cebu Blue behind me, especially, because I have to make a wire extension for that one. This Monstera Esqueleto, I'm behind on the extension again. Look at this like latest leaf. It is humongous. I love the sound of moss rehydrating, like the snap, crackle, pop. Same with stratum when stratum is really dry. I regret doing the Enjoy on a small grow pole. I think I might try and add a medium over top of this, although I don't have many more mediums left either. It's thundering. Storm is coming. I liked these smalls at first, but now I don't like them. They're too small. I feel like they're not going to be very sturdy. But I don't know, I like them for small plants or one vine. They're good for like a one vine plant. But I have 3 going up this one, which is kind of a lot. A lot of roots coming out of the bottom of that one too. I do want to extend this one, but I'm going to probably do that last. I want to get some watering done first, so I'm going to set this one back in its spot over here. Usually everything in my cabinet needs like a thorough drink twice a week, but I usually just check the plants and see how they're doing. This one looks dry. This is my Majestic that I did on a pole not too long ago, and there's already a new leaf coming out, which is crazy. Another philodendron. Plus, if there's my outbreak in my cabinet, everyone gets it because they just fly around with the fans. And I usually give a little water over the soil if it's like completely dried for the thickly ones. All right, and I'm gonna do a spray just because it's a philodendron. I'd rather be safe than sorry. These are all of my philodendron poles. I have 4 poles that are in my cabinet. Of course, they're all philodendrons, so if I get a spider mite problem, they are the culprits. I need to refill my water. So I have a Brita large, I think it's like a 6-liter filter, and I dump all the water in there, and then I fill up my jugs. And then if I have to adjust the pH, I will. And so I get all that ready. So I have 4 jugs. So instead of going like back and forth, I just refill it twice in a row. I think in my mind it saves space or saves time. But I'm also getting hungry. I haven't eaten dinner yet. So I might eat real quick and take a little break and then come back and finish my cabinet and keep watering my poles. And then of course I have to go around to everyone. I feel like there's a lot more thirsty plants than I thought. Maybe I slacked this weekend. I don't know. I water plants on Saturday, but of course, you know, I don't water everything, but I feel like some plants look really thirsty. I should have come in here Wednesday and I didn't. And today is Thursday. I should have come in yesterday, and I come in my plant room every day, but I don't do plant care every day unless I'm filming. I only do plant care one day during the week, and then on the weekend I dedicate like 2 days to like do plant care. So I feel like 2 days is enough time to like do all of my plant stuff that I have to get done. But yeah, I'm gonna go eat and I will be back on in a little bit. I love my variegated fried egg. She's beautiful. She's working on a new leaf right here in the middle. She's gorgeous. Definitely needs a little refill. I have several variegated corms. I have a separate one here. I just watered. This one is in soil, but it's holding on to 4 leaves. And then I have like a couple smaller corms, and then I actually have like this one actually has a corm right on top here that's peeking out. So I'll probably be able to get some more corms off of her. But I just feel like I've gotten so lucky with the color. Like, she is gorgeous and she's beautiful. I hope nothing ever happens to her. I can't believe I grew this back from a stump. I definitely have to watch the fried eggs though for spider mites. It's like my biggest worry, so I'm terrified. I'm terrified to take her out of the cabinet because of her getting like a pest, but then I'm terrified to leave her in the cabinet when there's a pest because everything gets infected in there, so it's a toss-up. I'm gonna do all my pond last. I'm gonna set them all out on my table and water all the pond reservoirs, so I'm gonna sit her down. The only thing that's really left in my cabinet is my crystallinum, which the inflow is still like very pregnant. And then I have to just top off all of my stratum and soil cups on the bottom. That doesn't take me any time at all. I usually don't always take them out. This is one of my first seedlings I transferred over, one of my own little seedlings there. So cute. So yeah, I need to give this a little bit more water. I'm gonna be so excited to start like selling some plants. I'm so excited. I think since I have so many, I might do like a free like anthurium with purchase or something as like a website launch whenever it's time. I had thought about that idea, and I have so many that I feel like there's no way I'll be able to get rid of them all. Because I had 361 seeds. That's a lot, but it's just an idea that I had. So I'm gonna finish up here, and then I'm gonna get all of my pond pots out, water those. I have to finish watering my poles. I need to rinse my Monstera props. That takes a while. That takes me like 30 minutes because I have like, I don't know, 20 cups of water. I have to rinse them all. Okay, cabinet is all watered. The only thing that's missing is my fried egg, the variegated one that I put in that corner there in that empty spot, and I have to water it yet. Yeah, it doesn't take me any time at all to water my cabinet, and you can see all the alocasia corms and props down there. So yeah, I love my cabinet. I am going to turn my other grow light on because the grow lights are starting to go out and it gets really dark in here. Let's see. We need to do lights. There we go. I cut that one back on. Before I get started watering all of my pond containers, I'm going to water my Monstera mint. It is beautiful. Look at her. I have a new leaf coming in, and it looks like it's a really good color. And it also has a new little node growing right down here. It's like a new little leaf it put out. And it's growing another little aerial root there. It's so cute. I don't plan on repotting it or upsizing it or anything. It's still like very, very tiny. I don't want to disturb it. So I'm going to take my little thrifted vessel. I just use it to bottom water. And all I do, let me add some water. Is, yeah, just bottom water her. I fill it up to about here. You can see the water level, and it'll just drink it all up. And yeah, this top layer will be wet by the morning, and that's all I do. It loves being bottom watered. I feel so lucky to have this cute mint. So I'm gonna set that guy there. All right, first things first is for my pond containers, sometimes I can't always rely, I was saying that I can't always rely on the meter because sometimes it'll say there's water in here and there's not. So I just get in the habit of lifting them up. Sometimes there's like residue in there from how dusty it is because I don't like rinse my pond or anything first. But last time I rinsed them out really well. I took them out and then I poured water in here and dumped all the old water into a big bin, and I dumped it outside just to like clean them. But I'm not going to do that this time since I just did that. The only thing that I'm going to do is just, yeah, just water them like a normal plant. When I was first doing these, I was pretty strict on keeping the water between the min and the max, but now I don't care. I feel like, oops, I feel like it goes to the max all the time now, and it's fine. Unless you have like a ton of roots growing in, and then you can cause some rotting issues. See, that one's kind of at the way above the max, but that's okay. And you can kind of get a feel for how heavy it is too. I've started to notice, and the big thing is looking at the leaves to see how they're looking. If they appear droopy, then that means they're thirsty for sure. Like this guy, very thirsty. You can tell that there is no water in that reservoir. So this one is going to go back in my cabinet. I love her. And when I go to lift these up, I get in the habit of checking the root system out too. This one has a little bit of roots, but not a ton yet. Because that kind of lets me know how root bound they're becoming, and they may need to be upsized. But yeah, when they're completely flat like this, it's fun to watch them like rehydrate. Within like a few hours, you can see the leaves start perking back up again after they've gotten water. I definitely don't let them get to this point, or I try not to let them get this dry, but sometimes it happens. I'm kind of mad at myself for not coming in here sooner to check on them. And you can see it kind of bopped way back up to the top there. Sometimes for more thirsty ones like this, I add a little bit extra. But I wouldn't do that if you start having a ton of roots, because again, then it's going to be sitting in water, and you don't want that because that can cause rot, especially as it starts to dry out. Then you can cause dry rot to happen. This Queen Anthurium was one that I did a while ago, and I was worried because it hadn't done anything, and then I had some yellowing on the tip of this one, and I'm like, oh no. But I finally have a new leaf shoot here. There's the new leaf coming in. So that is very exciting. I think I put this one in here a couple months ago. So it hasn't been super long yet. And again, I haven't fertilized these besides a couple that I accidentally added some extra Osmocote, which I feel like, I think I did for this one too. No, maybe I did, I don't remember. There was a few plants I did in that video that I accidentally added extra Osmocote. So definitely won't do that anymore. But I think I might eventually just switch to a liquid for these, but again, I don't know yet. I'm still kind of, oh, I filled that way too full. I feel like it kind of takes a second for these to read. I'm going to dump some of this out. Okay. Yeah, I definitely don't let this get all the way to the top because then I feel like it's too full. I just wanted to show you the El Choco. So this is one that I just did with you guys. That's the leaf that I accidentally tore. She's doing it very well. She looks perky. Look at her. I'm just going to add a little bit of water. It's not quite empty yet, but that's okay. I'm just going to do it because I try to water them all on the same day. And if they don't really need a lot of water, I just add a little bit of water. But this one is doing very, very well. And the little cutie Anthurium is as well. I'm just doing a little quick top off on this one. Like that. I already did the big fried egg in that video, so that one, the meter is still reading pretty high. This one doesn't need any additional water. It'll be okay to wait until this weekend to check, or even like mid next week. And then all of my other pond pots are in that middle row there. Aren't they cute? There's 5 of them. There's the black velvet on the end on the right. And then we have the Magnificum, Anthurium, and then 3 more Alocasia. So I'm gonna just probably just take my watering jug over here and then just top them off. So when I do my midweek check, I do check over everyone. I'll do a quick look, and if I feel like the plant is thirsty, then I'll water. Because I do, like I said, I do water everyone over the weekend, but sometimes the plants in my environment just can't stay hydrated long enough, so I have to end up, you know, watering them again. This is the Epi Marble. Isn't she beautiful? There we go. Isn't she pretty? She's really starting to climb. This is another one that dries like very quickly. I'm just gonna give a good soak through. It's nice knowing how like your mix performs, because you get used to it and you know when it's time to water. I did this Tortum recently, all of my imports, and I haven't checked on them since. But this one looks and feels dry, so I'm gonna go ahead and water this one. I did use my new mix for all these, so there's coco coir and worm castings and some vermiculite in place of Fox Farm. And I added in the myco. And there's still like, you know, charcoal, orchid bark, perlite, and all the chunky stuff in here. So normally when I water my big shelf here, I just kind of take it section by section so I don't miss anyone, because if I just start pulling plants down like I was doing, sometimes I can easily forget one until my next water. So it's nice because I just kind of take it cubbyhole by cubbyhole and water anyone that needs watered. Here's some of my pink princess props. These I did, I took off of my main one, and I do need to pot that one up, which I might actually do soon. You can tell when my stratum gets too dry and it's not as humid, the new leaves tend to get stuck, but I don't like to really help them out anymore because I find pink princess really sensitive to being helped. So I try not to do that. Sometimes I'll take my water, or if you have like a mister, I just water the cataphyll. Yeah, I'll pour water in the cataphyll here to like moisten this. And sometimes you can like pop it right out. But if I do help them, the only thing that I do is just like gently pull like that, and that's it. I don't do it hard. I don't mess with it because it can break right here. So if you can loosely free it, that's all I do now. Stratum dries so quickly in my environment, but I love it. I love it more than any other propagation medium. Here is the ring of fire that I did recently. There's the new leaf. You can see where it was kinked right here, and it's kind of healed itself, and it does have some good color, but obviously not as pretty as the main leaf here. It's still very much hardening. It might be a little bit smaller just because I did kind of repot it while it was trying to push a leaf, and you can see there's like the growth point there for the other new one. But this is definitely dried. I use my moss pole mix, and you can kind of see the leaves lose moisture. They get very thin and droopy, so that tells me this plant's definitely thirsty. feel like I'm having to do more watering than what I normally do during my midweek watering. It's usually my poles in my cabinet, and then I'll check like my stratum cups and the pond. But I must not have watered a lot this past weekend. I mean, it's still like pretty much very hot here, so things could have just dried out still quicker. It's currently 76 degrees right now in my plant room. This is the pink princess that I did in that video. You can see there's a little bit of yellowing here on that leaf. And I see where she might be working on a new leaf, but she looks a little droopy. And the soil definitely looks dry, so we're gonna go ahead and water. I just wanted to quickly show you, look at all these tissue culture plants. Do you guys remember when these were so small, and look how big they are now? So this is the Philodendron giganteum, and then the Syngonium milk confetti. That's crazy. I'm gonna be getting rid of, I don't even think I'll keep a Syngonium milk confetti because I'm not really interested in Syngonium that much anymore. And I'll definitely keep one giganteum for myself, but I'll probably end up putting these all on like the shop to get rid of, because again, I don't need these. And I don't really have any interest for them, but they dry out pretty quickly. I have to water them once a week, but that is amazing. That is absolutely amazing how much they have taken off. That is crazy. Oh no, see, I knew I had one more pond plant, my Jacqueline. Look at this leaf, you guys. Isn't that insane? Like, this is my head compared to her. I knew I had another one that was in pond still. I'm glad I remembered. I just checked her last time, and like I just checked these all really good and emptied, you know, the cash pots out, and so none of them are really rooted or anything yet. That one's a little overfilled, but that's okay. She's beautiful. She has been quickly becoming one of my other like favorite alocasias. Yeah, do you guys remember when I got her back in January and I first did the unboxing compared to now? And I had a fungal infection, so it was down to like hardly anything. Now look at her. It's like a completely different plant. It's amazing. Pawn is amazing. So I think what I want to do is just quickly kind of water all of my poles over here, check on everyone. This is like this corner is my not favorite corner. I don't know, I just don't like watering that corner, and that Syndapsis is still sad. I need to check on that Syndapsis. If I'm in the mood, maybe I'll do that later. I kind of just want to get through the watering though. I didn't really want this to be just like a watering video, but it kind of gives you more of an idea of kind of, oh, the Maranta. I put the Maranta in pond too, and it's doing well. I'll show you because I'm going to show you those over there. Making sure I don't have any other pond reservoirs that I missed. But yeah, it kind of gives you a closer look into my care and routine and how I manage this huge collection. And mind you, I have probably 100 plants that are out of my plant room. I water my plants outside, the dining area. Now I have plants on a new shelf. And then I have in the bedroom, the bathroom. I have a lot of plants. It's a lot. So yeah, usually the twice a week mark, I go to my other collection, but I'm gonna do that tomorrow. I just want to get through everyone in here because I feel like I've kind of neglected my plant room this week. I feel really bad about that. Um, but yeah, I don't want to bore you with too much watering. So I'm gonna finish this up behind me, like I was saying, and then I'll take you over to this other shelf and we'll look at the other plants in pond and just check this area. And then that'll pretty much be it. I just have to finish watering my poles. And then we'll see if we want to tackle something. I really want to tackle that Syndapsis, I think, now, because It's been looking sad for a while, and I feel like there could be some rot going on. I may end up just prop the whole thing and start over with it. It really didn't like that repot. Oh, and you know something else? So, I had this beautiful Syngonium, frosted heart. This here, it was huge. This is all that's left. It completely died. I think it was fungal, and I think it spread. Like there's another cutting in here that is completely rotted. This is just rot. Here's my trash can. So this is all that's left. It is trying to grow. Do you see there's like little nodes here? My camera is not focusing tonight. There we go. You see there's like a new growth point, but it's not really rooting. It is a little, but out of my big entire plant, this is all that I have left. I have to change the water. Maybe I'll get a new cup. Maybe there's something weird with that cup. But I loved this Syngonium, and it makes me so sad. I just think this is another plant that fell victim to the fungal issue. I mean, it has some like black spots on it. I don't know if it's picking up that well, or if that's like normal on this Syngonium. But I really liked it, and I'm really sad that this is all that's left. All the leaves literally just like rotted and yellowed off. I didn't do anything different to it, and this is all that's left. It's very sad. All right, I'll be back on shortly. I'm gonna, like I said, finish up this little area, and then I will take you over here to this plant shelf. I just wanted to show you my humidifier. I didn't get a chance to fill it up, but I'm gonna fill it up tomorrow. But this is the LaVolt one, the 6 liter. It's the one that I like. And I can set the humidity and it auto runs. I did want to show you guys, I got these little, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. I wanted to show you these, there we go. Do you see that thing in there? That's like a demineralization cartridge. So I have that in there, and I just like refill it with tap water, and that will make the water, takes those minerals and stuff out of there for the humidifier. So I will get that refilled and running tomorrow. I know it's a little bit later, but you can see the monsteras. New leaf on that one. They're all doing amazing. Oh, and you can see the Frydek now. It's all perked back up since it got water and it was hydrated. All of my pools are reaching the top. Yeah, I'm getting stressed out by the sheer size of these poles. They're very overwhelming. I'm gonna have to get on some chopping and stuff soon with these guys. It's getting a little bit late. It's kind of dark now. I'm just gonna finish up. I took care of all of my monsteras. I got them all changed. I'm not watering like any of my hanging plants because I don't water them until the weekend, or I check them. But I really just have to water like these two shelves. So I was gonna run through these. A lot of it is the pond. My black velvet is doing so well in pond. These guys are just very thirsty. I would say my pond, yeah, it depends on how rooted they are. Probably won't last a week. Some will though. My dragon scale is giving me some new leaves. Got a couple here in the front and then one here. It has a pretty variegated leaf. Right here, it has some variegation on it. It's so pretty. The silver dragon is finally growing. Some of the corms have rotted. They just don't do anything. Like there's a bare stump in here. That one probably is not good. There is a growth point, so it might grow, but we'll see. I did have a couple that didn't do anything. I probably should have checked this sooner. I don't think I watered it since I did this one. I did this for an Instagram reel. I think I put it in my shorts. This is like my OG Maranta. I was gonna do half in water or like half in pond, but I decided to go ahead and put it all in pond. And this is the one that survived flat mites. And look at her, she is loving the pond life. Absolutely loving it. Amazing. I am just such a believer in pond now. Oh, I love soil too. This is one that I took off of my main silver band. This isn't soil, this is my new soil mix. But this is also one that survived flat mites. So this is all props. My main plant is by my moss pole area, but my main plant isn't really growing that much. So these are all the cuttings I took that were healthy. And look at this thing. This like one plant is growing in like crazy, all these cuttings. I don't know, if that Maranta does well in pond, I will be tempted to do more. Because soil does dry out really fast too in my environment, but it's easy to water pond, I feel like. I don't know. Soil sometimes is just messy, you know, and then you have like potential fungus gnat issues. My heterophylla got very thirsty. Oh, that one just ripped right off. Like mushed. That's weird. She's not as thirsty as she's gotten before. This is all corms that I grew back off of my plant. I don't have the main stump anymore. The one piece just didn't do well, so this is all that I have of the heterophylla. I do have some more corms in my cabinet, but this one is such a thirsty alocasia that I would be tempted to put this one into pond. And this is one of my fried egg babies that caught some spider mites. This is how I found them over here, and then they went down to my Makoyana. But I sprayed this one with Castile soap already, so as soon as I get the beneficial mites, I'm going to put them out. And then these two, I don't know if you guys remember, I got these two plugs from that with that ficus, and these two plugs have not done anything. They're still just as small. This one has pretty much gone dormant. So I don't know. I was thinking about putting them in pawn or transitioning them to my Ikea cabinet to get a little bit bigger. They don't really like being in my ambient room conditions. It's just not really doing anything. They just don't seem happy. And then, oh, I have a few more down there. These are my gloriosums that I did. So this one is still pretty curled, the leaf on it. I thought the leaf would have like rehydrated, but it doesn't seem to be. But it has a ton of nodes there. So I was hoping it would perk up. I feel like once it starts rooting, it should do well. This one has perked up quite a bit. I have this red Maranta still in water. So this might be, I might put this one in pond since I already have a red Maranta in water. Or I have a red Maranta in soil. So these are like the props that I had that I took at the same time that I did my lemon lime. And my lemon lime's like, I don't know, just exploded in water. So I feel like this one would love pond. And plus my regular red Maranta is still kind of not the happiest since having flat mites. I put my two Hoyas that I repotted down here. I have this one and this one here. I don't like watering Hoya so soon, especially the ones with the really thick leaves. The soil is dry though, and they were in perlite, so I'm just going to give a little extra water, just a touch. Because I just don't want them to go like completely dry. Yeah, and the leaves are a little soft. So I'm just going to do a little drink for those. And then the only one left is my beautiful Maykoyana. I treated this one for spider mites already. But she probably still has some on her. So I'm definitely going to put like at least 1 or 2 mite packs on her. I'll probably just do one. But she's beautiful. I love her. The only thing that's really left, I have to finish some poles, which I think I'll just finish tomorrow because it's getting kind of late. And I might have to water my Regal Shield. I'll have to check this one. And then I really think that's all the plants that were like urgent in here. I'll do the rest of my collection tomorrow, but I'm just going to check on them. And then I'm going to finish treating, I'm filming a separate video on mealies and repotting Hoyas. I'm going to probably finish that tomorrow and finish my poles and then probably do one more video tomorrow. There is one plant that I might take care of really quick with you before we like end this video. I know it was like mostly like a chatty water with me, but I do have one plant that's sad. I was going to do the Synapsis, but it's going to make such a mess. And this one is a small one, so I figured we could take care of this one really quick. This is my platinum philodendron. I don't know if you remember. I got this one at the same time that I got the Anthurium Warocqueanum Esmeralda from that Etsy shop. And they both had like root shock. They were like dried roots. And I put this one into soil and I don't think the roots were happy. And I've lost 2 leaves and you can see that these are droopy. And and it's not pushing its new growth. I feel like this plant probably lost a significant amount of its roots. So I'm probably gonna end up taking this out of here and restarting it in moss, just let it grow some healthy roots. And then this one I believe is a crawler, and I struggle with crawlers, so I honestly don't know why I got this plant. It's beautiful, but I struggle with crawlers, so when it does reestablish its root system, I'm probably going to do pond for my crawlers because I'm going to do the Gloriosum in pond, and I'll probably do this one. And then I checked on my Mame, and that one isn't happy either, so I technically have 4 crawlers and none of them are happy. Yeah, crawlers may not be for me either. So I'm gonna take you to my table. We're gonna unpot her and probably just stick this plant in moss. And then I'll stick it in my cabinet because it gets really good growing conditions in my cabinet. And I think it would do really well, like rehabbing in there. And then I will pot it up. So yeah, let me take you to my table. All right, you guys know the drill. I rehab in sphagnum moss. This is all like recycled moss. I'm just gonna reuse it. And then our Starbucks cup, but I'm pretty sure the roots are probably not the happiest. I had a gut feeling when I potted this up that I probably should have waited to do some healthy roots on it. I could probably honestly just pluck it right out of here. I think everything is pretty much a goner, which is kind of sad. I don't know if this plant has like dark roots, but everything looks rotted. I'm cutting it all off. Okay, so I wasn't showing you guys. So I cut the complete root system off. So it has healthy nodes here that it'll regrow from. So what I'm going to do is take my scalpel. This looks rotted, so I'm going to take my scalpel and slice it and let this end dry, and then I'm going to stick this in sphagnum moss and let this plant reroot. This is the second plant that I've gotten from that same Etsy shop where I've had an issue with the plant health, so I will not be ordering from that shop again. And it's a pretty shop. I mean, her plants look beautiful, but this is just, I don't know. When I did that video, when I potted it in here, like you could see, just like the Esmeralda, like the roots were just fried because they were in moss. Who knows how long they were in moss for? I don't know. I probably shouldn't have planted this in soil, but it just wasn't happy. Well, I'm glad I checked. So I'm just going to make an incision right there. Just gonna let this dry for like maybe just 5 minutes, I think. I just don't want to put it into moss when it's super wet. It's had time to dry, so I'm just going to stick it down in here. When I do it this time, I'm gonna stick it closer to the edge of the cup, so that way I can keep an eye on the node to make sure nothing is rotting with it. forgot to wring the moss out. It's too wet. There we go. Okay, I can kind of keep an eye on the node down here. And then that's it. I'm just going to cover loosely with some saran wrap and stick this in my Ikea cabinet. And hopefully this plant can make a comeback. I'm a little sad that it was rotting. I wish I would have checked it sooner, honestly. Making sure I don't see spider mites on this, because usually spider mites attract, they're attracted to stress plants. I might give these leaves a wash down with some Castile soap just in case before I put it in my cabinet. So I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. I'm getting tired, so I'm going to clean up this little mess and head to sleep. But thank you for joining me on a little late night watering session. I hope you enjoyed it. This is kind of like my midweek watering routine. And then, over the weekend is usually when I water a majority of my plants. But again, I feel like my watering is off schedule for some reason. So I probably won't have to water too many plants this weekend, just plants that I didn't water today or plants that are getting a little thirsty, and then I'll probably have to end up doing more watering probably earlier next week, probably like Monday or Tuesday. But yeah, if you have any questions about anything, let me know down below. Thank you so much for being here, and I will talk to you guys later.